Bow, chicka bow, chicka bow. Skiddly dabba doo, bow, chicka bow, chicka bow. Badu, 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 badu.
So, you have managed to stick with me through the best and the worst of the Marvel Legends. But there's one topic we haven't touched on yet, and that are the Build-A-Figures. This year I managed to complete 5 Build-A-Figures, or I should say review 5 Build-A-Figures, because one is older than 2023. So I've ranked those 5, and if you sit with me for a couple minutes, we'll go over each one in order. Coming in at the number 5 spot, we have the Thanos Build-A-Figure. Now, first and foremost, if you just ignore the arms and the head, this is not a bad figure. But the color and the just the look of that skin is just off. It is off. The face sculpt is good, but the color really makes it look like just cheap plastic. And it's nowhere near his natural color. Probably why they redid his color twice in 2 other versions of this that were released. Yep, and that's why Thanos is sitting in the number 5 spot. Coming in at the number 4 spot on my Build-A-Figure list, we have Cosmo. Now, don't get me wrong. I do love the MCU portrayal of Cosmo. And B, this is not a terrible little figure. I mean, it's articulated. It's painted well. Nothing really wrong with it, except it's a Build-A-Figure. It's a tiny Build-A-Figure. This thing should have been a pack-in with Rocket. If you want to charge me full price for a Rocket, throw this in as like a bonus part. Because just Rocket, no. Just this as a Build-A-Figure was just, it was a shitty move, Hasbro. It really was. And for that reason alone, it's at the number 4 spot. Sitting pretty at the number 3 spot on my Build-A-Figure list, we have Infinity Ultron from the What If series. Now, I found that storyline of What If quite interesting, very compelling. I found out we were getting a Build-A-Figure. I was a little excited. But one, it's not quite as big as I would expect an Ultron to be. Yeah, I know it's supposed to be Vision in armor. But still. Secondly, it's done with that marbleized metallic plastic, which gives it that cheap plastic look. Now, the sculpting on it is amazing. The paint they've used, perfectly done. It's just the few minor details that really kind of kick this thing down to the number 3 spot. Standing tall, see what I did there? That was a dad joke. In the number 2 spot on my Build-A-Figure list, we have Cassie Lang. This is a big old figure. It really is. This actually scales pretty well with my daughter's Barbies. So, it's big. The sculpting is wonderfully done. The paint is on point. The face sculpt and the paint is perfectly done. It's just the head sculpt the face sculpt doesn't really look like the actress. That's the problem. Don't get me wrong, it does look like a fairly decent looking female face. It just doesn't look like her. Secondly, giving me an enlarged Cassie as a Build-A-Figure when you haven't even given me a normal scale Cassie for that line was a dick move. When you gave us the giant Ant-Man, you'd already given us Ant-Man. So, that reason, that's why Cassie is at the number 2 spot on my 2023 Build-A-Figures of the Year. So, who do you think number 1's going to be? I'm sure if you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you've seen the number 1 a couple of times. You know I love this thing. But I'm curious, what do you think it is? Also, down there, down, right there at the bottom, is this little section that says comments. Jump in there. Tell me what you think about this list. Is there something that should have been higher, should have been lower? Did I say something that you found completely off, completely wrong, and you want to debate that? I will have that. I'll have a discussion with you. But you need to get down there and let me know what you think. So, what do you say we jump on and finish this list? And finishing up our Build-A-Figure list for 2023, in the number 1 spot, we have Khonshu. Okay. As far as the Moon Knight series went, the fact that they only gave us a Mr. Knight and a Moon Knight, kind of disappointing. There were a couple other figures I felt should have been made. But I was happy when they announced this figure. And then that it was a Build-A-Figure. And then the first piece I got, I believe, was a leg that was almost as high as the figure I was reviewing. And I knew he would actually scale as he should. I mean, Khonshu is tall. And they portrayed that really well with this figure. The sculpting is beautifully done. The paint, there's a couple places where it just looks like muddy water was flung at him, but other places it came out really well. That skull, that sculpting on that skull, the paint on that skull is just beautiful. The staff, beautifully done. The spectral kind of neck bone looking, tendon looking things that holds the head up, beautifully done. So it's for this reason and this reason alone that Khonshu is sitting at my number 1 spot for Build-A-Figure of the Year. So there you have it. Build-A-Figures of 2023, ranked in order. Congratulations, Khonshu. Please stop haunting my dreams. Until next year, everybody. Peace.
Big bacon. Yum.